Hey guys, welcome or welcome back to my channel. This is Rex, and today I will be talking about a book which I think is one of the best books of the year, and people should be talking more about this book. So the book that I'm talking about is none other than Lula Dean's Little Library of Banned Books. This book is about a little town in Georgia named Troy and a woman who lived there called Lula Dean. Now, Lula Dean considers herself as a little philanthropist, self-proclaimed philanthropist, and she thinks she's a do-gooder of the society and decides, it takes all the responsibility in her shoulder to choose which books should be there in the local library for the people to read and which books should be banned. The books, according to her, which should be banned is pornographic and has satanist culture or something which is a danger to today's generation, and therefore she bans all of those books. In return, she opens a small library in her front yard and calls it Lula's Library, and there she keeps all the books which she thinks today's generation should read, which is basically all the books of 1950s, a culture of that time, and obviously books again which she has never read. Okay, so basically she never read these books and she has kept them in her library. Now someone plays a prank one night and removes all the books from Lula's library, exchanges the dust jacket with all the banned books. So basically the dust cover is of the books which Lula approves of, but inside the books are the banned books, and everyone who is actually accessing Lula's library is basically reading the banned books, and their lives changes for good. Now this book is one of the best written books I have read. It is a satire and it makes fun of all these book banning people and what happens if you actually stop reading real actual books, which is really important in our society these days. This book consists of so many characters, all the characters of a little town and their interconnected lives and how their lives changes after reading these banned books. It is a story of a lesbian girl who's struggling to tell people to read the correct books. It is a story about a wife whose husband is a Nazi. It's a story about a white woman falling in love with a black man. It is a story about a son who's trying to impress his father and is completely going down the wrong way, exactly like his father. It is a story about drag queens. It is a story about two children being completely forced to do something which they never wanted to do. A story about a girl who was a sexual assault victim in her high school but never had the courage to talk about it. It is a story about a very successful man who was a sexual assaulter in his high school and is now thriving in the social life. It is about a woman who finds out her husband is cheating on her and how she changes her whole life because she has given everything to the marriage, that she focused everything on her marriage and she didn't know what to do when her husband started cheating on her. It is a book about so many important things. It's a book about slavery. It's a book about how a Confederate general sexually assaulted so many women that their family tree is just expanding once the DNA results are out, and no one actually knew they were connected to this Confederate general of this particular town. So basically it is a book about so many important things. It's about live and let live, and I think people should talk more about this book because of the important message this book has. Now Kristen Miller is an author whom I have never tried before. I have heard after reading this book, when I checked out the author, I've heard her book called The Change is also a very very good book, and I am so excited to read that book as well, because if this is how she writes, I am so involved, I'm so into this. I can proudly say this book is among my top 3 favorite books of the year. I think this book should be in everyone's reading list currently, given to the world that we are living in. So yes, yes, I have given it a 5 star. Basically, it should be a 6 star book. This book doesn't fall under 5 star. It has to be a 6 star book, So please do read this book. Do let me know if you have read, what you thought about it, because I really want to know. I really want to discuss about this book. If I had a book club, which eventually I will have one day, but if I had a book club today, this was a book I would have definitely proudly have made my monthly pick for the book club. So yeah, please do let me know whether you guys liked it or not. Love you guys. Bye.